Now, vertical projectile motion.
Yes.
Let's go into that.
Yes.
Let's go into that.
So yeah, that usually gives students a lot of problems. So
particularly graphs.
Particularly
Yeah,
graphs.
Oh, no.
Because even here, in the prelim that we administered, there was a debate about that graph. There was a
monstrosity.
And some argued that C is the ground and all of those things. So graphs are very important. So we have the position time graph, and we have the velocity time graph, and also have the acceleration time graph. So those graphs, I've seen students take the velocity time graph and draw it as if it is a position time graph.
I think that for me is very key, because they always think, no, but the ball is at the top. Why is it now going at the bottom? No. So velocity is the velocity. It's how fast the thing is moving at the time, and very important, in which direction.
Right?
I would say, Mbuso, for me, the first thing that they need to consider is the choosing of direction. Now, guys, please, I want you to listen to me very carefully. Please listen carefully. So when you start on vertical projectile motion, first, choose a positive direction. And what does that mean? If I choose up as positive, right?
Sure.
Then it means gravitational acceleration. Where's gravity acting? Right?
Downwards.
Always vertically downwards. Sure. Automatically, you've chosen gravitational acceleration to be negative. Why? Because it doesn't matter whether the object is moving up or down, gravity is always pulling it downwards.
Yes.
So that's the first thing that they get wrong, right? Because they'll say, no, but it was moving up, therefore gravity is positive. Remember, once you've chosen up as positive, it means gravity, for all intents and purposes, right, as the object goes up or goes down, gravity is consistently acting downwards. So that's the one thing that I'd like for you guys to correct. Now, another very important thing. If you've chosen up as positive, right? I'm making an example again as with up as positive. Then it means if the object is displaced, right? It was going up. Let's say it's going to get to maximum height. When it gets to maximum height, it means from where it started and where it is at maximum height, it was displaced upwards.
Yes.
Very important.
Very important.
So then it means when I substitute for displacement, my displacement is positive because I've chosen up as positive. But if now the object started, let's say, at the top of a building, and then it goes down, lands on the ground, the displacement from the top of the building to the ground is downwards. So that means it should be a negative displacement.
Yes.
So that's very important.
Yes.
Otherwise, please remember, guys, your equations, the equations of motion, right? You choose the right equation, and how they normally mark is that selection of equation, substitution, and then your answer.
Yes.
Right? And please don't forget to also mention direction, right? The mentioning of direction, especially when they've asked you to calculate velocity, not speed, right? When they've asked you to calculate acceleration, depending in that case,
yes.
And then, or rather, in fact, that's a good one, because they normally ask, what is the acceleration of the object between,
2 points?
You need to make sure G is 9.8 meters per second squared downwards, right? Acceleration is a vector, so it is quantified in terms of magnitude and direction.
Sure.
Okay. Anything else that you want to mention there?
So, in terms of bouncing balls, that is also a problem.
Some of you are still unsubscribed. Shares has been telling me that over 55% of you have not yet subscribed but have been enjoying the content, please, why don't you go ahead and do the right thing? Click on that subscribe button. Let's go back to the lesson.
That when there is projection and then the ball or whatever that we have thrown up comes back down, hits the ground, goes back up and goes to a second maximum height, and then it goes back down. What is happening there? What is happening there? Could you please share at least one instance of that happening, and then I will add on. On that.
Okay. So if you think about a bouncing ball, and I think the confusion at times becomes the velocity time graph.
Yes.
So the velocity time graph for that. Okay, let's start. Let's say we throw the thing upwards first.
Sure.
Okay, I'm making an example of that. So my velocity is not going to start at 0.
Yes.
As opposed to when I'm dropping it.
Yes.
Right? When I'm dropping it, velocity is 0. Right? So remember, if I chose up as positive, then it means my velocity, if I'm throwing it upwards, then my velocity is going to go in the positive direction, right? But, in fact, look at me do that. It's going in the positive direction, but it's decreasing.
Yes.
Right? Because it's getting to maximum height.
Yes.
So you get a graph, let's say it starts at, 14 meters per second. We threw it up at 14 meters per second. So it's going to start at 14 and then go down, right, until it becomes 0.
Yes.
Right? But then at maximum height, then it starts going down. Then
so
go to the...
Don't rush. Don't rush.
Okay.
So we start at 14 meters per second, and then we count down. At the x-axis, when now velocity is equal to 0, where are we in terms of position?
We are right at the maximum height.
Sure. Right at the maximum
We are at the maximum height.
Okay. And then now we are continuing, we are coming back down.
We're coming down now.
Okay, so we
then
are still
our graph goes negative, in the negative direction.
Sure.
Why? Because remember, we chose up as positive.
Sure.
The velocity is now downwards and it is increasing.
Okay.
So that's why it would go negative, and you'll see it's going further into the negative numbers,
Sure.
right? Because remember, negative does not mean it's getting smaller, but it's just showing us direction in that case, right? So let's say it gets to the ground at a velocity of of 26 meters per second.
Sure.
So then it means that my graph is going to get to minus 26,
Sure.
right? And eventually, now this is the part that usually becomes a problem. So let's say it's an inelastic collision with the ground.
Yes.
Gets to the ground at 26, leaves the ground at 18.
Okay.
I'm just making an example, right? Gets to 26, then leaves the ground at 18. Now remember that change in velocity, you are moving from a negative velocity to a positive velocity in a short instant of time. So what does that mean? It means I'm going to move from negative 26 and almost in a vertical line, move to, I said 14,
14.
Yeah, to 14. I didn't say 14, I said 18.
Oh, 18.
Yeah, I said 18. Sorry.
18.
14 was when it started.
So when it started.
To 18.
Yes.
So you move from negative 26 to positive 18, right, within a short instant of time.
Yes.
And so that's why it then does not follow that gradient that you have normally. So please just look out for that. That movement looks big on the velocity time graph, but instead, in terms of the spacing of where it happens, it's on at the ground.
Sure.
Okay, it's when it lands and when it leaves. Okay, so that's very important for you to interpret that correctly. And so what's going to happen? It's going to move from 18, right? And it's going to decrease again until you get to the next maximum height. So that is quite important. Your position time graph also needs to follow suit. the wonderful thing about the position time graph is that it shows you the
motion.
exact picture
Yes.
of what is happening to the object. I think without necessarily wanting to belabor it, I think for the sake of time,
Yes.
please just make sure that you do the right thing in terms of vertical projectile motion. Perhaps let's move to the next one. Momentum
Also-
and impulse.
For the masterclass, I think it will be important that we cover
emphasize,
then when two balls, one is coming down and one is going up, at which distance are they
going to meet?
Yeah, are they going to meet and have the same distance above the ground? So please do attend in the masterclass next week.
Yeah,
we will be going through everything in detail.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. All right, so our masterclass will be taking place. Just please make sure that you are part of that. All the description that you need all the information that you need will be right there on the description of this video. All right, so let's talk momentum and impulse.
Yes.